Yeah, we're still on topic from the last the last video. That last video that we went over Twitter through. Because I found a video by a YouTube channel that goes by Think Before You Sleep. And it talks about false accusers and their enablers. Well, here, let me just show you. That's like a perfect segue. You know what I'm saying? You know, you see how I did that shit? Yeah. I might combine these two and just make them one video.
I went to Evil Las Vegas alone, but I wasn't alone. I shared a hotel room with Sykkuno, but I didn't know that he had other intentions.
Alright, stop. First couple of seconds, and already she's lying to accuse this guy of being a predator. You mean to tell me that you, as an adult, who, by
She's definitely trying to paint the narrative.
the way, later said she had 3 past relationships, which means she's not new to this stuff. So, as an adult, you mean to tell me that you didn't know that this guy wanted to be alone in a room with you because he wanted to have sex? Bullshit.
I don't sleep with anyone that I'm not dating. And it didn't happen that night.
Then why share a room with him? You knew this. You knew he wanted this.
I didn't want
I
it to
agree.
happen.
I have to agree. Like there's no way she didn't know that. So a man wanting to be in a room alone with you, like, and y'all, it's not like y'all are best friends. It's not like y'all are it's not like y'all are uninterested in each other in any way, shape, or form. It's not like y'all are brother and sister or anything like that, unless you're from Alabama. Sorry, Alabama. But come on, come on. There's no way you didn't know what he wanted to do.
So instead, I just gave him oral. And then when he fell asleep, I got out of bed and I just ate a banana and I was just staring out the window. I was dissociating.
That Tupac poster? Shout out.
I think I was straight up just dissociating. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? What just happened?
Okay, so you voluntarily had oral sex with a guy that you shared a hotel room with. What's wrong with that? No indications of coercion and no indications that he physically forced you into doing it, so why are you speaking like you're the victim of a sexual assault? Anyway, for those of you who are unaware, recently there's been
Because that's the narrative she wants to paint. She she's jumping on the bandwagon of, ruining Sykkuno for clout. That's what she's doing.
some allegations against a very popular Twitch streamer who goes by Sykkuno or Thomas. A number of girls have come out and accused Sykkuno of being a predator who takes advantage of younger women who are small streamers. This one being Leia, who I guess was a former mod of his, and she's very obviously trying to frame this consensual encounter as a sexual assault. But before we talk about that, recently a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting an addictive platform.
A sudden ad sponsorship with no segue. I think I definitely prefer when people segue into it. Yeah.
They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and body image issues, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles, you should hear this. Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm they caused. You can use the link in my description or scan the QR code to take a short quiz to see if you qualify for a case. You may be entitled to a potential recovery of over $1,000. Alright, so back to Leia's allegations against Sykkuno. I feel like this is the 10th set of false allegations that I've heard about in the past year. I don't know how often this happens with regular people, but with social media influencers or famous people in general, false accusations are rampant because accusers have an extreme incentive to make them. They get clout, they get money, or some of them are just crazy and they get to get revenge against an ex for breaking up with them.
What's that say? It says, yeah, we can do that tomorrow or Sunday. It's up to you. Probably should do it on Sunday. I should stay locked in until then. Okay. Sorry, I'm anxious to see you. I kind of miss you a little bit. You match my freak, kind of. Bro, these women are screenshotting everything, bro.
And there's really no doubt.
You can't even, text messages aren't safe. Phone calls aren't safe. Video calls aren't safe. Careful out there, kings.
downsides for the accuser, even if their allegations are very obviously false. No one goes to jail, no one loses their career over it, they don't even get a fine for it. So there's a high reward to virtually no risk, and worse, it hurts
Appreciate
actual
the follow.
victims who are actually abused. That being
Wait a
said,
little
let's go
bit.
back to Leia's vast misrepresentations of her encounter with Sykkuno.
And I didn't ask him to share a room with me. I just simply asked him, "Hey, are you going to Evil Las Vegas?" He said yes. And I said, "Oh, I'm trying to go this year. I'm looking at hotels and everything's so expensive. Do you pretty much have like any recommendations? Like I know he lives in Las Vegas." And he said, "Oh, you're planning on coming. I actually have room if you just want to room with me." And I said, and I at first was not against it. I was like, "Are you
He still ended up doing it. He said he didn't ask him to let you room with him. Okay, cool. And he told you that he has room and he's got space. So he asked you to room with him. You have an option to say no, since you know that you don't have sex with people that you're not dating. But you also know why he's asking you to, you know what I'm saying? You obviously you're not obligated to, but you agreed to give him oral. And then you had sex with him. And now you're complaining about it. You're complaining about the consent that you gave. And you knew the situation would happen the moment he asked you, or maybe not the moment he asked you to room with him. At some point before you got to a place and started to room with him, between that time and the time he asked you to room with him, you had to the thought had to have crossed your mind that the situation would come up of sex, and you still went through with it. And then when it came time, you agreed to do it. Well, you gave him oral at first, and then you had to sex with him the next day. So what is the? Never mind. Why are you trying to act like you're a victim now?
sure like
And again, it's because she is jumping on the bandwagon of time to ruin Sykkuno, and she wants clout. This is about weird girls? No, this is about Sykkuno. This is about his situation. This is a video by Think Before You Sleep, and he wants to talk about false accusations and shit.
no, I don't want to intrude. Like I don't mind getting my own hotel. He said, no, like I have extra room. I already paid for it. And I even asked him, I'm like, are you rooming with a group or with friends? And he said, no, but there's 2 beds, so like you'll get your own bed.
She starts by saying, "But I didn't ask him for a room." I'm guessing she's trying to make it seem like he forced it on her, but it's very obvious that she was asking for a room when she said, "Gosh, gee, I want to go to Evo so badly, but the rooms are so expensive. Do you
Bruh.
have any recommendations?" He's like, "Yeah, my room." Leia, you can't Google or use Expedia to find the cheapest hotel? You're a really terrible liar. Basically,
Damn.
this is her
Calling her out. I see, chat. I answered your question.
asking for a room without being direct because that's just how women operate. Oh, but don't worry because there's 2 beds in the room. Let me put it this way, guys. If you were in a relationship, would you let your girlfriend go to a video game tournament by herself?
Fuck no. Nope. I already know he's gonna ask. I already know what he's saying. Hell no.
And share a room with a super famous multi-millionaire streamer who she mods for? If there were 2 beds, would women trust their boyfriend in a situation like this?
But me being a dumbass and not being
No, you don't play that card. You knew exactly what you were doing. You're not just a girl. You're not a quote unquote dumbass. You know exactly what you're doing.
very
You still know exactly what you're doing.
like very strong in like mentally, not physically. I mean maybe this is a people pleaser in me, but and maybe I don't know, benefit of the doubt, or because I still thought he was cute, or I don't know. He tried to make a move on me, resolute. I don't know, but he made a move on me. It did take like 30 minutes.
Right, a people pleaser. That's definitely a red flag word. But how is he able to make a move on you? There were 2 separate beds and you didn't want to do anything, right? So why would you be sitting close enough for him to make a move when the selling point of the room was that there's enough space for you to keep your distance? As a side note, though, really one of the best ways to tell if someone's lying is to ask them specific questions about the event that would be obvious if it actually happened. Most people aren't smart enough to be able to perfectly fabricate a story, so if they're lying, they'll stumble when they try to give specific details, or they'll give answers that don't make sense. But here's the reality of this situation between Sykkuno and Leia. We all know what Netflix and chill means, and 30 minutes after the door closed, she was already getting intimate with him, so she basically wasted no time. This is where the oral happens.
I just gave him oral. Okay? This is like so personal. Like, I don't talk about my intimate life at all. But I don't sleep with anyone that I'm not dating.
Obviously, that's a lie. Not only did you get intimate with a person who
Obviously, that's a lie. It's like, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. She said, I don't sleep with anyone that I'm not dating, but she willingly agreed to stay in a hotel room with a guy that she has no reason not to have an interest in, and vice versa for him. Bro, she knew everything was gonna happen. She knew what was gonna go down. Come on, bro.
you weren't in a relationship with, but he didn't even have to buy you dinner first. That's like the definition of easy.
I barely slept that night. Then in the morning, he didn't really want to talk about it.
Talk about what? You consented to oral. What's there to talk about? I mean,
How do you get confused?
outside of you clearly trying to make consent look like rape.
And I was just kind of trying to open it up and talk to him about like what happened. We were going to talk about it.
She's trying to lead her audience to make that connection. She doesn't want to say it outright. She doesn't want to say that he raped her. She wants to tell her story of giving consensual, of the time she spent with Sykkuno and how they have consensual sex. She wants to tell her story about that, but she wants to spin it in a way that will lead the audience to make a connection that it is great. She wants you to think it's great without her saying that it is. That way if she ever needs to, she can go back and say, "Oh, I never said it that he did that to me. I just said the time that we spent together while he had a girlfriend." She would spin it. She would just cover her own ass. Just confused. It's also not your liking of videos, but like get how people find it interesting. Yeah, we like to talk about about it, like it says on her screen.
I don't know, later or something. I don't know, but I can't remember. But
We like to like kind of dissect it and examine it and let our thoughts be known about it.
he ends up hugging me, but then pushes me onto the bed from the hug. And we end up having sex.
You didn't say no. Did you even like egg it on as well? Did you encourage it? Like,
Didn't have it in me to tell him to stop. So I just let it happen. And while this was happening, while we were doing it, I always wear protection, and I only sleep with people I'm in a relationship with. So I'm not used to one night stands or anything like that. But we were not using protection, and I'm legally hard of hearing, if you guys don't know already. But in the heat of the moment, he asked me if it was safe, and I didn't hear him, but I just said, and he finished.
That sounds a lot like consent. Not only did you not say no or give any resistance, but you openly said yes to unprotected sex when he asked. Oh, but she's like sort of deaf or something, therefore it's sexual assault. I mean, if you didn't want to be intimate, you could have began with, "I don't want to have sex," when he initiated that morning. Did you not say that you
True.
refused him the night before and went with oral instead?
True.
How are you suddenly not able to say no? And
True.
also, it being the case that you are a helpless people pleaser who can't say no to anything, even though you did before, But that being the case, why did you put yourself in a position where you were alone in a hotel room with a guy who you think is single and you admitted you were attracted to?
Because I still thought he was cute, or
Isn't that kind of a bad position to be in if you want to maintain the standard of only being intimate with guys that you're dating? So I don't believe you at all, and personally, I'm kind of tired of all these women asking to be treated like children when they're basically in their mid-20s like Leia, or even people who are in their 30s who have dated multiple people yet want to pretend that they don't know obvious information about how relationships work so they can falsely accuse someone.
This is actually probably the worst one of these videos that I've ever seen in my life. It's very weird that she's framing her own supposed moral guideline as an implication that he did something wrong. So but you weren't in a relationship with him at all. You obviously agreed to give him a blowjob, and then you have sex with him the next day. Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, right? But in my opinion, something like this is either rape or it's not. And the fact that she's framing it like, oh, I only do this. And the reason why I think she's doing that, and maybe not the reason, but I think that what's happening is that you hear that, and then the implication is that, well, then why did she do it? And then your mind goes to the perspective of maybe he made her do it.
Yeah, but clearly she can.
Yeah, he's trying to lead the audience. Like I said before, she's trying to lead the audience to make the connection that he did something wrong. Do I like reacting to shows or like viewer requested video? I like reacting to the videos I pick, and depending on the viewer requested video, I might react to it, but I don't react to music anymore.
Consented to all of it, which is why she isn't making any strong statements, because if I were Sykkuno and Leia made any statements here that could legally get her into trouble, I would be suing the shit out of her. Though I don't get why Leia made this video in the first place. She even says that she stayed friends with Sykkuno after the event, despite pretending that this entirely consensual interaction was traumatic. Allegedly, this all happened 3 years ago when she was around 23, so why the change of heart now? Well, that's because recently it was revealed that Sykkuno was in a long-term relationship when he got with Leia, and not only that, but he also had a whole lineup of women that he was seeing at events and hooking up with. And to talk about that, we'll have to talk more about who Sykkuno is.
Bruh, it's almost hard it's almost hard to believe that he's not wearing a wig. That shit's real. Did you get copyrighted for music reactions? I just never really did them to begin with.
Sykkuno became super famous after seemingly clout sharking a more famous streamer named Lily Pichu during COVID. Many such nepotistic cases on Twitch. Anyway, Sykkuno is primarily known for his expert gameplay at Among Us, ironically, and acting like an anime character.
Which you've done.
For those of you who don't know, Among Us is this game where you have to pretty much, well, if you were it's like tag almost, but with aliens. And you can the aliens go through eating the normal people, the humans. And once the body is found, you have a meeting and you go over what you know. It's the aliens' job to pretty much lie and get to the point where they kill all the humans. The humans' job to find out the imposters and kick them out. But yeah, if he's like really good at the game, it means he's really good at lying.
Get a negative KDA.
That's not true, you liar.
What? Well, I mean, honestly, I don't really keep track.
Every time I play with you, you have a positive kill-death ratio.
That's because I sweat extra hard because I want you to think I'm cool or something, you know? You know, Pokey, if it made you...
I sweat extra hard because I want you to think I'm cool.
Smiled, and that's enough for me.
Wow.
Damn.
Bro, this guy has the liners. He's got bars, bro. He's got bars. He's like a R&B singer that poetically just speaks to bitches. He is the whisperer.
Trying to date or something?
What? No, I was just trying. What? Wait, what? You are extremely popular.
And then he just covers his mouth while he laughs to act cute and shit. Like Asian women do that to act cute, like when they laugh, bro. Bro, what the fuck?
No, I'm still growing. I'm still growing.
He like I told you, bro. He's like he tries to act like well, it's like he's acting like an anime protagonist. He just has the bars and the actions.
Sir,
Huh? Oh,
I still have much to
I
learn.
meant you're extremely popular with me because you're really cool.
Aw.
Personally, I thought that most people would think a guy in his 30s
Right.
talking this way is pretty cringe, but apparently tons of women eat this shit up, and Sykkuno gained one of the largest female followings as a streamer.
I just thought everyone knew that uwu shy anime boys didn't exist in the real world. I thought we were all in on this kind of persona he was putting forth. Like, guys, we know he's not a shy uwu anime boy, right? He's a 30-year-old man. This is like a persona thing. In the past, where any one of us would push back against that persona publicly, his fans would get really upset at us, like, quote unquote bullying him. I had to yell at his fans or be yelled at by his fans because I was treating him like an adult.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that this would be such an effective strategy. As much as feminist video
Bruh. When you have the power, you have the power. Like a man with an army of simps is rare to find. You know what I'm saying? That shit is rare. But it's like, he did it, bro. This man is going to be studied for decades.
essayists of the past have made a million videos saying that manic pixie dream girl relationships like Ramona Flowers and Scott Pilgrim.
Bro, need I remind you? And spoiler alert: if you don't know the story of Sykkuno, need I remind you? He kept his girlfriend. After all that shit, after that nigga got busted and everything, and all this shit came out about him, he kept his girlfriend.
Don't actually exist. Apparently, that type of a relationship is exactly what tons of women want.
Right there, maybe a little bit, like, yeah. You're such a oh, okay, here we go. Wait, you're actually so much braver than I thought.
Only because you're here.
Nigga.
Ew, cringe. But to put it simply,
Nigga.
Sykkuno is basically the male version of Pokimane. He pretends to be an anime character, while Pokimane will LARP as a Japanese girl by doing stuff like covering her mouth while she laughs.
I am wishing you a happy new year, and I'm rooting for us.
I told you Asian girls do that when they laugh.
I wonder how many times she practiced or reshot that moment where she blows out the candles until it had the perfect anime level of kawaii. You can see there's a cut right before she blows out the candles. So while Pokimane will do this anime girl shit, Sykkuno does the male version of that by acting like Izuku from My Hero Academia or Ken from Dandadan. I never would have guessed that the uwu male anime character archetype was designed to actually attract women because I just see it as cringe.
I like that show.
Now, before we
This is
move
funny.
on, let's just get the obvious out of the way. I do not like Sykkuno as a person. I don't enjoy
Damn.
defending someone who has routinely cheated on his long-term girlfriend while
I like how he said, man, hold on, let me get this out the way real quick. I need to make sure y'all know this shit. I don't like him as a person. I don't. I hate the way I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I even hate the way that you say nigga. I'm your biggest hater. God damn.
at the same time, hiding that relationship from the women that he got involved with. This is not a good person. This is someone who is probably just as manipulative and deceptive as Pokimane. So it's not a shock that Sykkuno and Pokimane were friends. However, despite not liking Sykkuno, what I hate even more is how often people are trying to blur the lines between what is and what isn't sexual assault. Being an asshole doesn't make you a rapist. Not liking someone as a person doesn't mean that the allegations against them are true. And I want to emphasize that because an uncomfortable amount of people will decide that someone is guilty or not based on how much they like them, instead of the actual facts of the case. That part of human nature is why we're lucky that the criminal legal standard in America is innocent until proven guilty. That being said, let's move on.
That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. Innocent until proven guilty. But lately, in certain situations, maybe some cases involving man versus woman, it seems like it starts out guilty until proven innocent. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
On to the next accuser, the one who actually started all the drama, a she/her who goes by Hemamal or Mal, and what a shock, she has an OnlyFans or a Patreon. Same difference. It seems like anytime there's a false allegation on social media, there's an OnlyFans chick close by. Guys need to learn their lesson and stay away from these women. Anyway, Mal posts a Google Doc on Twitter and captions it, "Exposing Sykkuno, a serial cheater, master manipulator, and dangerous predator." Well, that's pretty spicy. When you use the word predator, I'm thinking he's like a sex offender or a criminal. So that's a pretty serious allegation. Let's hear why she made it. She starts the document off by saying, "On Valentine's Day of this year, I was followed on Twitter by Sykkuno. I thought it was amazing that such a big content creator even knew I existed, let alone followed me on social media. He had been my role model and someone I looked up to for a long time, ever since my days in high school. However, what I learned about Sykkuno after that day would make me regret my decision."
Damn.
All right, so already she's framing him as a child groomer by saying, "He was my role model and I've looked up to him since high school." Because of that, let's be clear by saying that everyone involved in these allegations was over the age of 18. I believe Mal is 20 and Leia was like 22 or 23 at the time of her allegations. I don't care if Sykkuno is currently 34. They're all consenting adults, and I've been getting annoyed at how often people are being called child predators for doing stuff with another adult. So
Bro, that's the new, well, I don't want to say it's the new norm because I don't want that shit. I don't want that. I don't want, that's dumb. But it's the new assault rifle. It's the new assault rifle, bro. And its accuracy has been upgraded. Its armor penetration has been updated. It's one of the best on the market. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to do some damage, that's, you know what I'm saying?
after these opening statements, Mal urges all other victims to come forward because there's strength in numbers. Oh, so they're victims now. Victims of what exactly? Page 2. After Valentine's Day, I was so excited about
Victims of emotional damage. That's all this is, bro. That's all this shit's about. There it is. There it is. Now I have to hear it. I have to see it. It's
emotional damage.
That's what they're victims of, bro. That's what they're victims of. Their fifis were hurt, bro, so he has to pay. You don't understand. You don't understand, TBYS. Their fifis were hurt. Nowadays, it's like a crime, bro. And they have to attack. It's like spraying a cat with water. The spray, you know what I'm saying? The spray bottle. The cat is likely to blast out at you. You know what I'm saying? It might not like that shit, especially if it's like a stray or just doesn't know you, whatever. It's like spraying a cat with water, fam. Their fifis got hurt. They have to retaliate. That's how it goes, bro.
him following me that I told a friend who then urged me to strike up a conversation. I finally worked up the courage to send him a DM, and he replied right away. Okay, so pay attention. Sykkuno did not start the conversation. Mal started the conversation.
Yep.
She approached him. All he did was follow her on Twitter. I don't know, maybe he was gooning one day and wanted to save the account. I mean, there are plenty of big random accounts on Twitter who follow me, and I've never messaged them or followed them back. Following someone is not a big deal or a predatory act. So let's be clear, much like Leia initiated the conversation about hotel rooms, Mal initiated this conversation too. Then Mal talks about them playing games together online and titles a chapter, Interest in Where I Live, to, I guess, portray Sykkuno as a crazy stalker. After this, she says, Sykkuno made plans to meet me IRL. It was set to be the same weekend as Dokumi 2026, since he was flying over anyway to attend TwitchCon EU. Going to the aquarium would be our first date. I also learned that there is a 15-year age gap between us. She puts this text in bold to, again, I guess, make him look like a child predator, even though she's an adult.
How dare you go for younger women? Tisk, tisk, tisk. How dare you go for younger women? You should be ashamed of yourself. Like, bro, are you serious? Like he said, it's between two consenting adults. But he's 15 years older. Dun, dun, dun. How dare he?
What I find weird, though, is how is she just learning his age? She said she was a fan for years. He was even a role model, and his age is public information. You never Googled it? But even if she didn't know, if she really thought the age difference was a problem, then she could have just stopped. I don't see why his age is relevant here, considering that she was aware of it, and yet continued to have a conversation about moving in with him right after first talking with him. With Sykkuno, our relationship moved so incredibly fast, it almost felt like a dream. It was like he could make anything I wanted happen, and as someone as prolific and successful as him, I had no reason to doubt anything he said to me. Then she talks about a cat or something. So here we have a full display of Maul's motivations for interacting with Sykkuno. She starts by saying, oh my god, a famous person followed me, I should message him. Now she's discussing visa options and a possible move-in while saying, he can make anything I wanted happen.
Wait. Are still, I thought he was gonna read that shit at first. Are you still looking for a Valentine's Day, perhaps? What? You can't just open up with something like that. And besides, Valentine's Day is almost over where I'm from already. I mean, we can always do a Valentine's Day do-over, you know? Bruh. She slid into his DMs. You see this shit? And it worked. And it worked. He took the bite. He took the bait, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's further proof that when a woman makes the move, her chances of getting, accepted are higher. You know what I'm saying? She did her thing.
Options and a possible move-in while saying, he can make anything I wanted happen. Oh.
Let's see. Can I read this one? Let me. Hold up. I can't make it hard to go. What? It can make it hard to go outside or do too much sometimes, though. So, and she says, "Oh, I get that. Let's see. I'm allergic to grass. What? I'm allergic to grass. Not as bad, but I can become really dizzy from it." Oh, she's not joking. She's serious. Huh. Poor thing. It's like the only allergy I have. God damn. out of all the allergies, the only allergy, one allergy, you get one allergy this lifetime. You know what that shit is? Reach your hand into the bag and pick an allergy to have for the lifetime. Allergic to grass. Oh man, that sucks, bro. Anyway, she's like, bro, I can't go out. Touch grass. I can't. You trying to kill me? Why you trying to tell me to touch grass? What's wrong with you? Let's see. But if I ever come visit, like, we don't have to always go out, as long as you're comfy. Also, so we can stay inside? You mean we can let Netflix and chill? That's good, girl. Come through. Also, aren't pets bad for your condition? I don't know how sensitive it is, but sometimes cat hairs can make it worse. And he says, certain ones can be. Huh. It depends, though. My dog is fine. He's not very allergic. Well, my family dog, I don't that I don't get to see as often anymore, sadly. Oh, so the hypoallergenic pets are fine? Yeah. And even some that aren't like listed as that were okay too. Huh.
Okay, so Mal is definitely a sociopath. Both of them probably are, but let's be clear, the kind of relationship that Mal is describing is not one where she's like in love or enjoys Sykkuno's company or admires personality traits he has. Her description of his value is, look at all the stuff I can get from him.
One of the best months of Among Us. I feel like I shouldn't say numbers, but I will say I made more than I made in an entire year as a software developer in 1 month. Wow. Like, not a little more. It was like more than 2 or 3 times as much as my whole year's salary in
You
1
made
month.
3 years worth.
Software engineers make a lot. This had to be like $300,000 to $900,000. God damn.
Of your salary.
In a month when it feels too good to be true.
This is not a victim. This is someone who looks like she fully intended to fleece him for clout or money, and she's only writing this Google
God
Doc
damn, he
because
was
she found
rich.
out that there were other girls. She's mad that he's better at the game, and now she's implying that he's like a financial abuser because he gave her some money that she didn't ask for.
Hold on,
Now,
hold on,
someone
hold on, wait.
Salary.
2 or 3 times as much as my in 1 month.
Wow.
Like, not, I will say I made more than I made in an entire year as a software developer in 1 month.
Wow.
Like, not a
More than you make an entire year as a software developer in 1 month.
little more. It was like more than 2 or 3 times as much as my whole year's salary in
You
1
made
month.
3 years worth of your salary.
In a month when it feels
3 years of your salary in a month. Hold up. Where's my shit at? There we go. Software engineers make a lot. This had to be like $300,000 to $900,000. So 303 times 12, 3.6 million a year, and times 10.8.
too good to be true.
This is not a victim. This is someone who looks like she
Hello?
fully intended to fleece him for clout or money, and she's only writing this Google Doc because she found out that there were other girls. She's mad that he's better at the game, and now she's implying that he's like a financial abuser because he gave her some money that she didn't ask for. I mean, you could have just sent the money back if you didn't want it, but instead you posted what he bought you on social media. Seems like you were happy to take his money.
This gym jacket is so comfy. The muscle mommy arc will be revealed. Reveal.
So that's pretty much the end of this document. It was really a lot of nothing. Granted, it's bad that he lied about not being in a relationship, but the words victim and predator have an association with criminality in the eyes of the public, so if you're going to call him a predator and yourself a victim, you better have more than what's in this document. Oh, and one more thing. At the end, Mal links this Discord call of an argument that she had with Sykkuno after she found out he was in a relationship.
This is not settled. I'm beyond upset with you.
I mean, that's fine.
I told y'all, everything is women are recording everything. Everything. Your phone calls are not safe. Your video calls are not safe. Your text messages aren't safe.
Settled. I mean,
Bro.
like, probably never talking again.
You and me?
Yes.
What? Why?
Is that
I told you, this man's going to be studied for decades. He keeps his girlfriend. Spoiler alert. And he still gets to talk to the other girl. He said, I guess we're not going to be talking anymore. And she's like, why? Bro. What's good? Travis, Harlow, how y'all doing? Snoop Kage. I'm doing pretty good. How are y'all? Just watching this video by Think Before You Sleep. It's about false accusers and their enablers. And right now he's going over the Sykkuno files pretty much. From the hidden weed. Y'all doing good? How y'all doing today?
Why?
What is why I'm
Thanks for stopping by the way.
still upset with you, but you didn't cheat on me. You can still talk to me and be like,
There's no way. There's no way, bro. I told you he's gonna be studied.
make up for your actions. Don't get me wrong, because I always am there for second chances.
You're also good.
But I never will
Nice.
forgive you for cheating on her.
Weird how
Great,
she's saying that she
nice.
still wants to talk to the guy who she's calling a predator, probably still wants his money and fame. Also, technically the correct word is a womanizer or a player. And last, speaking of, after getting public backlash, Mal goes on to Twitter to say, "Sorry, English isn't my first language. I didn't know how people view the word predator." Nice, the Hassan Piker 9/11 defense.
But you
God.
understand now, and not just now, but you understood fairly soon after you said it, that saying Americans deserve 9/11 is a completely different statement and one that's wrong.
No, I didn't say Americans deserve 9/11. I said America deserves 9/11.
Right, but that's
and
still
in that
wrong.
Moment, well, maybe you can chalk it up to English being my second language or whatever you want to chalk it up.
Bro, you sound like you are very fluent in English. I don't think it matters if it's your second language, especially since you talk about politics all the time. I mean, if you're gonna speak in English all the time about politics and English isn't your second language, then why pick a topic such as politics to speak about if you have trouble with English? I mean, you seem to do just fine and you always talk about it. So I don't think that's a valid excuse that English being your second language is why you said what you said and it was taken as it was instead of what you meant. What's up, Harlow? How can I help you, bro? Do I stream daily? Yes, I do.
Up to?
Well,
Right, so
I
you
try
didn't
to,
know what you
for the
were
most
saying
part.
when you know words like prolific, as well as tons of idioms and terms like love bombing. You understand pop culture references, and most importantly, you very obviously understand which English words to use to make people come to the conclusion that Sykkuno is a
Hell yeah.
stalker and a child groomer. This person is very good at
What the
English.
fuck?
If I didn't hear her accent in that call, I would have thought she was a native speaker, so she definitely is lying about her language ability. Now, it's already bad enough that many women feel empowered to throw out false allegations like it's nothing and basically receive zero consequences for it. But what makes
Give me a second, Harlow. I'm kind of in the middle of recording a video for YouTube.
everything worse is the massive industrial complex that
I'll
likes
answer
to
those kind
help
of questions
false
later.
accusers by signal boosting their statements. Without these two forces working together, false allegations would not be so prevalent. Which brings us to a video essayist who goes by Mujin, who got 2 million views in under a week after covering.
Oh man, he tried so hard to roast Sykkuno in this shit, bro. And that shit backfired. That shit backfired. He got backlash from putting this video out without Sykkuno's girlfriend knowing about any of this, and she had to find out through other people who watched this video. And so she didn't give permission to talk about this, like, or nothing. Like, she just had her relationship exposed out of nowhere. And that's kind of fucked up of him because, like, what if she didn't want to be exposed like that? What if she didn't want to be in the open? What she was his private girlfriend, like secret girlfriend. Nobody knew that he had a girlfriend for a reason, right? Maybe she's not supposed to be dating, but she wanted to keep the relationship secret too. What the fuck?
Covering this story about Sykkuno and his accusers. Now, in the past, Mujin has had a pretty strong reputation for being one of those guys who checks the sources and is good with research. But from my perspective, as someone who has only recently found his channel in the past 6 months, when it comes to legal issues or serious allegations, Mujin should not be trusted at all. This guy has zero understanding of standards of proof or how to do any actual fact-checking. I also don't believe that he has the critical thinking skills or the moral discipline to discuss things like sexual assault allegations. Let's talk about why I think that.
The male streamer in question here was none other than Sykkuno. What made him really desirable is just how socially awkward he was. He was innocent in an endearing way. He was a boy failure that needed a woman to fix him. In a nutshell, he was this picture, almost allergic to other women. He just couldn't handle anything romantic. He would get too flustered. This made many of his fans want to be the one to finally fix him. But make no mistake here. This was all a perfectly crafted image that he had made for himself. He wanted you to think that he was innocent, naive, a boy failure, someone who's inexperienced in relationships and would never hurt a fly. Because in reality, behind this mirage, this illusion, there was a master manipulator, a serial cheater, and a predator.
Yeah, what? Again, that is a very strong statement to make considering the evidence.
A serial cheater? Why is he saying it like it's a federal crime? Like, is he just mad because Sykkuno gets bitches? Like, what's going on? Let me know what you think in the comments below. So far, what do you think about this situation? About how people are talking about Sykkuno and like, why are they blowing this out of proportion? Like, all he did was cheat on his girl with multiple girls. That's it. You know how many times women do that to men? And when they get found out, nobody goes this crazy about it.
Evidence that we have so far. And let me emphasize that
He
this
didn't
video
abuse
really
them,
is just
though.
about Maul's document, and all that happens in it is Sykkuno talks to her online, and
He didn't physically abuse him or anything. Unless you might be trying to talk about emotional abuse, but like they're mad because he had a girlfriend and it wasn't them.
and then to a different girl named Elfie Leah. Maybe he met Elfie Leah at a convention, but as far as I can tell, Sykkuno didn't have sex with either of them. The most salacious thing that happens in that document was Maul sending him some spicy content where she's insisting that he make personal use of that material, which kind of makes her look like the aggressor in terms of sexuality. So why is Mugen using a word like predator when it's a word that's going to immediately make viewers think that Sykkuno committed a sex crime against these girls when there's no evidence of that?
Someone who would make it a point.
He had consensual sex with them, or at least one of them.
For many years to target smaller content creators, take full advantage of the fact that he was one of the most desirable men in the streaming world, all while making it seem like he had no experience with women and that it just might be romantic. They just might be that special someone who can fix him. What he would somehow forget to tell them, though, is that he had been in a monogamous relationship since 2021. But you don't have to take my word for it, because he admits to everything in a recorded voice call with the victim herself.
What's Maul a victim of? A few DMs, a new sweater, and a copy of Resident Evil 9? What did he do?
You bastard! Resident Evil 9? And all the other stuff? How dare you? Are you trying to make her have nightmares of zombies from playing Resident Evil 9? You asshole. You're so wrong for that.
She talked to him first. Maybe the worst of it was the illicit material she sent, but really is it that big of a deal when you can see the same content from her for like $12? All Sykkuno did was click follow on some chick he was gooning to, and she initiated everything else. I mean, if you're going to talk about how he wanted to take advantage of smaller creators, what about Maul's admission that her only interest in Sykkuno was to use him for clout or money? Or the fact that she virtue signals and pretends that she doesn't want money, when one of her Patreon tiers is, spoil me with $600 and I'll give you nothing. Like I said, Mugen is ass at critical thinking. Does he have no relationship experience? How is it not obvious that Maul's framing of this relationship in her document is incredibly transactional? Well, really, both of them are trying to take advantage of each other. But how do you not notice this? How do you not notice that Maul opens up with a very overtly sexual comment and then tries to push for a date a second time when he gives a non-answer?
I mean,
this is someone who wants something. She's just
we
mad that
already
she
read
got
this one.
outgamed. Also, just as an FYI, since we're talking about character here, did you guys know that Hemamal, of all people, made some very interesting tweets about Charlie Kirk right after he was murdered, where she expresses joy that he was killed for saying his political beliefs. What a wonderful person she is.
Going to the
What
aquarium
the
would be our first
fuck?
date. I also learned that there is a 15-year age gap between us. Right, so look, I personally spoke to the victim about this. I asked, like, would that usually have been like a red flag or a turnoff? She said yes. But the thing is, this is
Wait. Okay. Then why does she go in? If she says it's usually a turnoff.
Sykkuno we're talking about here, right? So she made an exception because as you saw in the intro of this document,
'Cause
she
it's
used to
Sykkuno.
watch him in high school. She genuinely looked up to him. To
Sykkuno will be studied.
say that she was starstruck was an understatement, and that's exactly what he was counting
She was
on. Now,
starstruck.
while keeping that 15-year,
He used his He used his shining gun. Put her in a genjutsu. It made her all starstruck. And that's why she agreed to staying with him at a hotel together alone. It's his fault. She's innocent, bro.
age gap in mind, this next section definitely hits different. It's titled Making Plans to Move In Together.
Again, trying to frame Sykkuno as a child groomer, so he leans into the age gap without asking, how in the hell did Mal not know his age when she was a fan for multiple years? Who the hell cares about the age gap anyway? They were both consenting adults. Stop acting like she's a child. Again, I think the only reason that they're bringing this up is to make him look like he committed a crime when he didn't. And the constant lack of perspective in this video is annoying.
He simply wasn't seen like the run-of-the-mill Twitch streamer. No, there was definitely more to this. And one of the main reasons why this worked out so well is because he was seen as a boy failure. No, not the kind of guy who's unemployed.
Is that why he acts like an anime protagonist? To appear as a boy failure?
And lives in a dump and smells like shit. I'm talking about the ideal boy failure. The guy who's handsome, smells nice, doesn't live in a dump, but is instead just a hopeless romantic. Someone who turns all red when you want to initiate physical contact. The most innocent, naive soul imaginable. The appeal of a boy failure isn't necessarily that he's a failure. It's the fact that he's perfect, but just needs one person to fix him. And that's how a significant chunk of his fan base felt.
If you're going to call a guy a predator and all the affected parties victims because he acted like an anime character, then like at least half the girls on Twitch are pretending to be anime girls because men wouldn't engage with them otherwise, and that's not even counting the VTubers. Pokimane is
goddamn
probably the best example of someone who super performatively acts like an anime girl. Also, how many girls intentionally pitch up their voices so more guys will watch them? Well, the guys who donate anyway.
Bro, I've talked to a couple girls that just pitch up their voice in the middle of a conversation. And she's like, what the? Like, why are you doing that? What are you trying to sound like? Wait, what? Stop. Stop. It's weird. Go back to how you were talking. What are you doing?
Okay.
So, Sawyer, I'm visiting from America, and I've never had nanos before, and I've heard.
Oh my god, that voice is annoying. Oh, that shit is annoying. I'm sorry. Like you can sense the fake. You can sense the fake, and it's so tiring. It like drags you down. It's like a swamp of quicksand. And it's got mud monsters in it, just dragging you down, reaching out, just trying to drag you down into the mud.
Some great things, like to get the medium.
This girl, Extra Emily, is almost 30, by the way. These people are not stupid. They're very successful at playing characters, and they know which archetypes cause people to give them money. Speaking of Sykkuno and Pokimane, there's also this underlying ideology, well, actually it's pretty overt, where Mugen is like, how dare this guy pretend to be single and manipulate viewers? Bro, listen, cheating on your girlfriend is bad, but if you're going to call a guy a predator for pretending to be single and manipulating people, then I can show you like dozens of female Twitch streamers who are doing the exact same thing. You don't think they have simps trying to DM them and chat them up on Discord just like with Sykkuno? So anyway, there's not much else to Mugen's video that I didn't already cover. He spends most of it reading what Maul said and then throws in the 17-minute, mostly boring Discord call with Sykkuno, probably just to boost the watch time for more ad revenue. And last but not least, he does a little edit where he turns Sykkuno into Thomas the Tank Engine and reinforces that Sykkuno is a predator, which looks a lot like defamation. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know if this legally counts, but
Uh-oh. Bro, there has been so many, like, so many, like, lawsuits and streamers having to deal with lawyers lately. Like the Giant Smiley cases, the clavicular case, fucking, oh great, I lost my train of thought. Well, so many people having to deal with lawyers. There's the Miskiv thing, and with Asmongold and Emiru, and anyway, there's so many people, streamers dealing with lawyers that it feels weird. It's like the season of lawyers. Everybody's suing everybody else, and then the Ethan Klein shit. Holy shit, he's suing like 4 people, 5 people. I don't know.
after seeing how much Mugen tried to make Sykkuno look like a sex offender with no proof, I would be making some phone calls to my legal team because the aftermath of this video was that it seems like a pretty large portion of his streamer friend group threw him under the bus for something that he didn't really do, which kills his ability to make money from collabs.
Of course, before streaming today, I expected a lot of people in the chat asking me to talk about the Sykkuno situation. I was really stressing about it, and then I realized, like, I'm stressing about it so much.
Get in there and make it about you.
And Sykkuno hasn't even said anything yet. I think what I really want to say is I am just so sorry for all the hurt that's been caused to the victims, to our communities. I feel like I feel everyone's hurt and shock.
I feel like I feel. Get in there and make it all about you. You got this.
And confusion, and I'm right there with ya. I
gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Catch the Sims.
Really try so hard to make my channel a safe space for everybody.
Everybody, a safe space. That's beautiful.
I really hope the people that do need to speak up will.
That was an Oscar-level performance from Pokimane. Interesting choice, though, for her to use the word victim. In fact, I'm not the only person who pointed that out.
Anytime there's like an incident and it's popular to pile onto the man and like attack him, Pokimane promotes that shit, right? It feels like. But when that shit happened with that one streamer chick who it came out and she said, she talked about it was her only chance to sleep with a 16-year-old while she was 18. And so she did it. Like, well, people don't know her age. It was like 18 or 23. But even if it was 18, that's still wrong. That's still, you know what I'm saying? Nobody really said anything about that. People were like quiet on that shit.
An expert English language scholar who goes by XQC questions her use of the word victim, to which she responds by playing dumb, pulling out Webster's dictionary and saying, well, actually, Iman, no one cares about what the dictionary definition of the word is. The colloquial or common use definition, or how people feel about the word, is what actually matters here, and we know what you were trying to do. Going back to Mugen, needless to say, I'm not the only one who had a problem with his framing of the story. In fact, a ton of people did, especially his clear use of the word predator to imply that Sykkuno committed sex crimes. As I said before, womanizer or player or fuckboy is the correct term here. Predator is not appropriate here because it implies that there was criminal activity or that the people in question weren't willing participants. Mugen responds to the criticism by also pulling out Webster's dictionary and saying, well, technically the definition is, you've got to be kidding me, I'm tired of everyone playing dumb. Literally, this whole drama is just people pretending to not know things because they got caught doing something immoral. Mujin, come on. I know you know how people perceive that word. There were many creative choices that you made in this video that shows you understand what you were doing when you said predator. Just like it's clear that Mal understands what it means. And to reiterate, I don't like Sykkuno. I think he's an...
He had to say it twice. He really doesn't like him. Like, in the beginning, he was like, hey, just to let you know, before we get in on this, I want you to know I don't like this guy. But I'm going to defend him. Because this is fucked up. Halfway through the video, I gotta remind you, I don't like this guy. I know I'm defending him. I'm doing a good job of it. But I don't like this guy. Just had to let you know again. Shit.
asshole who cheated on his girlfriend. But the conversation is not about that. It's about people enabling false allegations, to which Mujin, by the way, has done on more than one occasion. And this stuff is a problem, not only because it harms a lot of innocent people who usually have no options for recourse against the ones who falsely accused them, but also it hurts actual victims because people won't believe them.
Yep, it starts to become like the boy who cried wolf, except it'll be the girl who cried blank. And it's like, okay, all right. Well, let's look into it. But at the same time, there will always be that like air of doubt. Because so many women are using it for false accusations, and you know, you want to believe them because you want to punish the person who would do that. But with so many of these accusations coming out false, it's kind of like, come on, man. Like, people will get fatigue off shit. You feel me?
God forbid an OnlyFans girl actually gets assaulted. No one's going to think they're being honest. So many people criticize Mujin for the video, one of them being a VTuber who goes by Powder. In this tweet, she is directly responding to Mujin's video as someone who has interacted with Sykkuno, stating that he was obviously a player, but she never felt manipulated by him. Powder goes on to say that Mujin was never really a reliable narrator, and personally I agree based on the content of his that I've seen. Now, because Mujin, of course, always wants to make sure that he hears all sides of the story and not just the parts that fit his bias, he then quote tweets Powder, basically giving her the middle finger by saying, haha, you have no viewers. Which, for one, is a really ironic thing to say when his video was supposed to be about him standing up for small influencers. And two, I could have sworn that I've seen Mujin make this exact argument where he says that anyone who disagrees with his obviously wrong take is a clout chaser. We get it. You're really cool.
If you don't believe me, you're just a clout chaser. You're just disagreeing with me because you think it's popular and you just want to get clout from me. You're just a clout chaser. Shut up. You're lying. You know I'm right. Nigga. Why do people revert? I hate when people revert to acting like kids when they lose. Like, stop acting like a brat, right? Like, it is what it is. Like, you're cooked. You're done. You're donezo.
Because lots of people watch your videos. It doesn't mean
Except
you're right,
defeat.
though. Mujin then threatens to blackmail Powder and expose that she dated a black guy. Who cares?
I've never dated a black guy. I never slept with a black guy, by the way.
And finally, he yet again lies and pretends that he doesn't know what the colloquial definition of the word predator is. With that said, this whole time Sykkuno has not said that much until he dropped this letter. And the English voice actor for Izuku Midoriya, Justin Bryan,
He even tried to go back on knowing what a predator is after using it so brazenly. If you're not sure what a word means, then you shouldn't be using it.
was kind enough to read it out loud for us, so I don't have to.
I would like to apologize to everyone I have disappointed. Most of all, to my girlfriend. I am so sorry. I put you through so much. I never want to make these mistakes again.
Bruh, how does the situation get so to the point where a voice actor for a hot show, for a great anime, chimes in and reads Sykkuno's letter in the voice of Midora, of whatever Deku, whatever his name is. Izuku Midoriya. How does that happen? Bro, that's gotta be, how would Sykkuno feel about this, man? He gotta be feeling like, I can't believe this motherfucker. He my hero. I modeled my whole anime boy after him. After his character. And he gotta do this to me? The betrayal. Like, how do you think he feels?
And hurt you and the people I care about. I was unfaithful. And I own and fully admit that. I lied to people and told them I was single, which I know is not right. I'm sorry to all of the people that I hurt by doing this. However, I have seen some false accusations about me that are not true. I cannot allow false accusations and such extreme labels to be placed on me. I do understand that the people making these claims did it from a place of hurt. So please, do not send any more hate to anyone. I just want the situation to get better, and I wish them the best.
Someone did an edit with the My Hero Academia inspirational background music, which was really funny, but I'm tired of getting copyright claimed, so you can find that version by searching for this tweet here. Though, personally, I don't really care about Sykkuno's apology because I don't have any proof that he's actually sorry, so for now, it's just empty words. But the more interesting part of this is the message from Sykkuno's girlfriend, who was the actual victim, by the way, where she chastises all of the clout chasers who were trying to use these allegations to boost their careers.
Hi there, I want to start by saying thank you for those who have been checking on me and wishing me well during such a difficult time. It's been extremely heartbreaking to learn everything I know now, and going through this has been one of the hardest things I have ever been put through in my life. I've been tossed around from all sides. Me and my reality have been continuously shattered. Remember, this is the secret, quote unquote, secret girlfriend that he's had for years, and not even his best friends knew that he had a girlfriend. And she's suddenly finding out that he was cheating on her all this time with all these different girls. And she's finding out because this video came out. Like, Mugen didn't reach out to her and be like, hey, I'm getting ready to make this video about your boyfriend. I just wanted to let you know. He didn't do shit like that.
What a shock. It's like what I said earlier. These sociopaths doing this for personal gain hurts the actual victim.
Wait, let me finish reading it. Though no matter how broken I am, I never wanted this to be public. It deeply hurts me that I wasn't given a choice in that, or even just warned that this would be happening at all. I didn't want this. Even after the fact, I wish they would have at least checked in on me or asked me how I felt about everything. But I haven't heard anything from the people involved since this all came out. I understand that those involved with him have been hurt as well, but I don't believe my feelings were considered in this situation at all. Having my worst fears become my reality, then put on full display and used for profit for everyone to see, is absolutely mortifying. It truly feels like a nightmare. It was already hard enough trying to work through things in private. This has just added another layer of difficulty and stress on top of everything. It's made it so much harder for me to cope. Prior to all of this becoming public, we were already making changes to improve our relationship. And while I could have chosen to leave, I ultimately made the decision to stay with the hopes of repairing our relationship together. Even though all of the things I've learned are incredibly disappointing and shocking, I don't think they are irredeemable. It's been hard handling things unfolding this way, but I believe this will be a step in the right direction. With time, I hope everyone can focus on healing and being better versions of themselves. Damn. She stayed. There's a spoiler, by the way.
Imagine finding out that you were being cheated on and then it becomes a massive public drama because some guy wanted a few $1,000s on a YouTube video. Keep in mind that since nobody knew about Sykkuno's girlfriend, she is not voluntarily in the public eye, so this is kind of a shit thing to do while pretending that it's on her behalf.
All I care about right now is that he's okay. Keep me updated on that.
I don't know if that's a possibility.
You can keep me updated on how she's doing. You can keep me updated on when she moves out, because I don't think she should be living with you anymore.
She's trying to make sure you keep in contact with her, and well, like she obviously thinks she's gonna move out. That's when she's gonna start making her move back on him. She wants to keep in touch. She already gave you the go ahead to continue talking to her. So why not try to keep in touch? But she's making her move. She's setting her path. She's paving the way to being being in the spot that she wanted to be in.
I don't think you need me to do that.
I mean, yeah, I care about her. Like,
Yeah, she can do that.
True. I'll just reach out to her then.
Keep in mind that directly before Hemamal talks about how much she cares about Sykkuno's girlfriend, she says that she still wants to date him despite the cheating. Yeah, she should break up with you for cheating on her, but I'll give you a second chance. Make sure you let me know when you guys have broken up so I can slide back into your DMs. I mean...
Let me know when she moves out so I can slide back into your DMs.
And how is this not just standard gold digger behavior, especially after that moment where she talks about how much she can get from Sykkuno in the Google Doc? She obviously is trying to get them to break up so she can have exclusive access to his money and clout, particularly considering the millions of dollars she can make on her OnlyFans/Patreon by being attached to someone as famous as Sykkuno. How do you not see this, Muujin? Mal is just as guilty as he is.
Yep. Sounds about right. I can concur. I can agree with that. I can, you know what I'm saying? I agree with what he said about the situation. So that is all. Public service announcement.
That's why Mal never contacted his girlfriend or asked how she felt about all this being exposed publicly before making the document. She's mad that she just lost Amaranth levels of wealth. Again, Muujin either knows nothing about women or has zero critical thinking skills if he didn't notice this. Sykkuno's girlfriend then goes on to say that she's trying to work things out with him, which I don't think she should, but whatever, it's their relationship. However, the great news is that after all of this, people started massively shitting on Muujin, the one who enabled all the nonsense in the first place, by signal-boosting allegations that falsely suggested that Sykkuno was a sex criminal. In response, Muujin deleted the expose on Sykkuno and then made an apology video where he sounds like he's taking accountability and he sounds like he's going to do better, but if you know anything about his behavior...
Let me see it. Let me read it. YouTube creator and VTuber Muujin has made an apology video as a result of the backlash he was receiving from the Sykkuno allegations. Muujin outlines that Mao, Himono VT, full name Himono VT, reached out to him initially before the allegations dropped. This further outlines that Mao had a motive behind the allegations. If she was shopping them to bigger YouTubers to signal boost the allegations, Muujin has privated his video on Sykkuno. You can unprivate that shit after everything dies down. Years from now. Remember this? Like the next time there's any drama involving Sykkuno, remember this? Unpublishes or republishes. Unprivates. He's gonna keep that one up his sleeve, bro.
Then you can tell that he is definitely not sorry for what he did.
I'm making this in regard to my last video about Sykkuno. I want to clarify how this video came to be, while also taking accountability and apologizing for the mistake.
A 1 hour roast session on one person. Damn.
Mistakes that I made. So, how did this all begin? Well, for me, it was on April 7th when I was reached out to by Mal for the first time. I was told that a Google Doc was releasing soon about a big content creator. And this is when I was asked if I wanted access to it early to maybe make a video about it. The document was going to publicly release on the 10th anyway. This means that this wasn't some grand conspiracy, okay? This document was going to release with or with...
Real quick. What time at? We're at 36:32. Real quick, back up. Look at his face. Look at Sykkuno's face. What if he was an alien that was pretending to be a human. And he learned how to act as a human from watching My Hero Academia in the future. Like, he went to the future, watched My Hero Academia. Well, actually, he has a way to access that on his TV. He can watch for any channel from any time in frame, so it doesn't matter. He watches it on his TV. So he watched My Hero Academia, he learned how to be a human, and then he came to Earth, and boom, he became Sykkuno. That's why he always acted like that.
Accountability and apologizing for the mistakes that I made. So, how did this all begin? Well, for me, it was on April 7th when I was reached out to by Mal for the first time. I was told that a Google Doc was releasing soon about a big content creator. And this is when I was asked if I wanted access to it early to maybe make a video about it. The document was going to publicly release on the 10th anyway. This means that this wasn't some grand conspiracy, okay? This document was going to release with or without me.
Wait, so his story is that he first heard about all this on April 7th and he posted the video on April 10th? He also insists that this was the first time he had ever talked to Mal, the one who wrote the Google Doc. There's some controversy on that, but I'll take his word for it. By the way, he doesn't forget to remind everyone that he gets millions of views on his videos. God, this guy is arrogant. Anyway, he released the original video on Sykkuno on April 10th after first hearing about everything on April 7th. So you mean to tell me that you did a 1-hour scripted video on this in less than 3 days? Well, minus about 17 minutes. But how did you do that? And 3 days is generous. Really, it's more like 2. I say this because this is not a slop tuber reporting the daily news. His whole reputation is that he's the guy who does his due diligence and fact checks everything. 2 or 3 days is not.
Hey. Slop tubers have an importance as well. They gotta get that daily news out. They gotta get that shit out. The people are wondering. I wanna know. So the slop tubers do their thing. They do their due diligence. They do their thing. You feel me? They let the people know. Let's do the messenger.
Not enough for a topic like this. Fact-checking is one of the most time-consuming parts of this job. Here he is quoting Breaking Bad and bragging about how fast he is. But the reality is that the only way you could get this kind of video out this quickly is if you literally just took everyone's word for it and did no independent research of your own. You're really not fact-checking that much if you can release a video on a complicated subject like this that fast. In fact, I remember the last guy I covered who bragged about how fast he could get videos done, and when I actually fact-checked him, it turns out he got pretty much everything wrong. I hear he's being sued by Ethan Klein right now for defamation.
If you've watched my channel before, then you'd know that I'm someone who highly values both sides of the story. It's actually something that I always implore you to do before forming your own opinions. And while I do receive so many DMs about scoops or exclusive info about certain topics, I mostly never take them, always choosing to wait for things to unfold in public first before making my videos.
Oh, come on. Mugen, look at me. You did not just say that shit unironically. You posted your video instantly after the allegations came out, which gives Sykkuno no time to respond. How is this waiting for the full story? We never heard his side, especially considering that you made some incredibly strong claims about him. I mean, Mugen's definition of listening to both sides sounds a lot more like a coordinated attack against Sykkuno between Mugen, Leia, Bao the Whale, Hemamal, and Elfie Leah. Also, if my memory serves me right, just a few months ago with Tectone's case, where he unjustly lost a court hearing for a protective order that I believe was maliciously filed by his ex, so she wouldn't face repercussions for allegations of sexual assault that she made against him, that had an extreme lack of proof. However, when talking about that case, Mugen felt comfortable saying Tectone was guilty of sexual assault, while at the same time, openly admitting that he never read the court transcript because...
Hold up, bro. Hold up. You just shout some shit out after not even reading the court transcript. Just be like, ah! That's kind of dangerous. You think he learned his lesson? Or you think he's still doing the same shit? I bet he's still doing the same shit.
Because it wasn't public yet. And I think it's crazy that he did no fact-checking before he went on this long Twitter diatribe when we regularly see corrupt judges allowing all kinds of atrocities.
Also, he didn't want to do any fact checking because he doesn't want to be wrong about it. He doesn't. He read up to a certain point. He saw what he was looking for. Didn't want to see any more because he didn't want to be proven wrong. And so he ran to his computer or ran to Twitter, ran to the internet, and made his thoughts known immediately. So yep, it says right here in the book, there's my sources, blah 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 blah, whatever. But he doesn't really fact check himself, so he gets busted.
God, especially in family court where the standard of proof is probable cause. So Mugen is just super incompetent. He doesn't know how to do independent research or scrutinize information.
What made the situation special, though, was the 17-minute video recording of the voice call between Mal and Sykkuno. My logic here was simple. It was me thinking that we already had the other side of the story, and it was Sykkuno admitting to his wrongdoings in the most raw and unfiltered way possible.
Holy shit, this guy's an idiot. Powder was right. He's not a reliable source. No one should trust him if he thought only receiving information from one side was fact-checking both sides.
Only that one side is just gonna make shit look good for them. You can't trust them to tell you the truth completely straight up without showing favoritism. Why would you want to only take one person, especially if you know their point of view is going to be similar to yours, and so you know they're going to demonize this person in question just to talk shit about him, just because they don't like him, and the other person is going to accept the bullshit because they want this narrative to be painted, and so it's like feeding off your own echo chamber and making these allegations on people and without even making sure they actually deserve these allegations. These are serious allegations that go on. And you just put it out there? Come on.
Again, he obviously just...
Any reason to ruin someone's life, huh? These days is fucking... It's crazy these days.
Just believes whatever people tell him, and he's too incompetent to know how to scrutinize information. He's getting these large view counts not because his information is highly accurate, but because he knows storytelling skills. So, forewarning, just because someone is good at video editing and selling a narrative and sounding smart doesn't mean they're actually correct.
The first mistake can be found in the intro of the video, and it's me using the word predator. Yes, it was my idea. And
also found throughout the video, but it was first mentioned in the intro. I guess that's an edit that he put in. And the title says, my 27M girlfriend of 4 years, 26F, has recently become obsessed with a male streamer, and I feel really uncomfortable about it.
And the logic behind it was me trying to encompass everything, like the serial cheating, lying, and deliberate targeting of smaller content creators into one word. Before using it, I even made sure to double check its definition in multiple dictionaries, which said things like a person or an organization that uses weaker people for their own advantage, or one who injures or exploits others for personal gain or profit. Due to this, I had to come to the conclusion that, yeah, this word fits.
Really? Okay.
I'd find out quickly afterwards, though, that for many people, that word is only reserved to describe pedophiles or sexual predators, which made a substantial amount of people feel misled after watching the intro of my video. It made it seem like a hit piece, exaggerating things, and it also made it seem...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure especially if you knew who Jeffrey Epstein was, I'm pretty sure you knew the difference.
Like Sykkuno had committed very serious crimes, enough to land him in a high-security prison or something, when that clearly wasn't the case. That was not my intention at all, and I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, I don't believe that you're sorry. We're only 4 minutes into a 12-minute video, and you've already been incredibly deceptive. Here's an idea. You sold a false narrative that cost Sykkuno numerous business opportunities because he lost a part of his streamer friend group. Words mean nothing to me. You financially benefited here and got 2 million views. That's like, what, $10,000 to $20,000?
Now look, with all that being said,
yeah, advertisers aren't going to want to work with somebody. Not just streamers. Advertisers as well. They're not going to want to work with somebody who has a reputation as a quote-unquote predator. You know, they're just gonna avoid that. It's a bad look for the company itself. So you would lose out on any type of advertising, and then of course streamers want to keep their name clean, and their agency is going to tell them, "Hey, you should probably stop working with this guy." So next thing you know, they have to pull out too. They might not even want to. They might still want to be his friend, but the agency is like, "Hey, if you don't pull out, then we have to drop you." So now that other streamer has to leave his side too. He just stuck there. Damn.
Apologies are great, but there's no use presenting them if there's no attempt to act on them. And that's exactly what I intend to do.
Okay, why don't you show that you're actually sorry by giving that money away to charity or something? If you honestly believe that what you did was immoral, then you shouldn't get to make $10,000+ off falsely accusing someone. So donate the money and then I'll believe you. After all, you didn't do this for views, right?
I thought that since my channel had grown exponentially, don't ask me how or why because I have no idea, I could maybe use my platform for a good cause, spreading awareness about Sykkuno's behavior so that no one else gets tricked into being a homewrecker against their will, while in parallel, encouraging others who have been wronged by him to finally speak up. Additionally, seeing that the person speaking up was doing so from a small account, I figured I could help amplify that message to spread maximum awareness. Now yes, some people could definitely argue that I was desperate for a topic to bring in views, but to me it didn't matter because I was already lucky enough to be able to cover niche topics I enjoy and still somehow reach over 1 million views on them.
God, this guy takes every chance he can get to brag about his view count and talk about how moral he is. Okay, so how about you do the right thing and give away the profits from a video where you fucked up majorly and basically implied that someone was a child groomer? You don't need the money, right? Because you said that you already have numerous videos that are hits.
He'd also call out anyone trying to frame him with false accusations. So yeah, as you can see, not much has changed. He's already admitted to these things in the voice call with Mal. When it comes to false accusations though, yes, there are stories that have circulated for years among some VTubers that accuse Sykkuno of doing worse than cheating. At this point though, it is not up to me to say whether it's true or not, just pointing out what he might be referring to.
He's still doing it. He's still doing the thing that people were mad about. Now guys, I'm not saying these are true, but I just want you to know that I've heard rumors that Sykkuno is actually a sex criminal for real.
This highlighted section says, the truth is Sykkuno's serial cheating and manipulation was only the top of the iceberg, and I was hoping the video would encourage the many others who have stayed quiet for years to finally find the courage to talk about their experiences.
So not only is this sort of an admission that he did mean what everyone thought he meant when he used the word predator, but also he's signal boosting the idea that he has secret information that we aren't privy to that may confirm Sykkuno did commit a sexual assault. Why would Mugen bring this up if he didn't want us to think that Sykkuno is a criminal?
Unfortunately, with the current state of affairs, that doesn't seem like it. Well, like it will happen anymore. Even if they were to somehow fit the image of a perfect victim, I don't blame them whatsoever. Instead, I can only wish them the best, and I hope that his ex, who was cheated on for over 5 years, god damn, can find the peace that she deserves. As for me, I'm sure it wasn't the entire time. Like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't like the entire time when they were together. My dad was like over 5 years. Let's see. As for me, I'll continue making videos that millions of people enjoy. And while prompted, oh man, he really did have to mention his millions of fans. And while prompted, I'll still strive to do the right thing, even if it's not trendy. Because that's just how I was raised. And it's simply who I am. That will never change, no matter how many vultures try to desperately farm my name. Thank you for being the best community I could ever ask for. And I'll see you in the next video. Whenever that is. Mugen. Off clap.
Because it's clear to me as someone who doesn't have secret intel that when Sykkuno says false accusers and extreme labels, he's obviously talking about you, Mugen, and Leia, and Mal, and like 2 other people. Nobody requested further elaboration from anonymous sources. If you were actually sorry, you wouldn't be trying to shift attention away from yourself by saying, Well, these other people said this, so maybe he is a predator. I can't confirm it though, but I just want to throw that out there.
The Sykkuno video was live for a week, so I'll keep this video live for a week as well.
Oh, so he's just going to delete the video. Good thing I saved it. You see what I mean when I say that he's not actually sorry for enabling false accusers? Ironically, he cites a PewDiePie video where Felix apologizes for saying the N-word on accident during a live stream 8 years ago. That's a big...
Bro, his reasoning for saying it is kind of fucked up, but goddamn.
Who cares moment. But you know what the great thing about that apology video from Felix is? It's still live. Now, I get why Mugen removed the original Sykkuno video, but to remove the apology video after 1 week makes it very much look like he doesn't want people knowing that he screwed up. On top of that,
wasn't his reasoning for it that he wanted to say the meanest, nastiest thing he could to that person? And so he chose the hard R. God damn, bro.
He doesn't apologize to Sykkuno for misrepresenting him. He instead apologizes to the audience. And he doesn't apologize to Powder either, though I don't think she's that broken up about it.
Mugen, thank you so much for being a fucking retard. You made my night.
So Mugen's behavior is very suspicious. That is yet another reason why I don't trust him, because here's...
God damn. Thank you for being a retard.
The reality. An uncomfortable amount of content creators like Mugen will misrepresent the facts of a case because they know the audience won't independently look this stuff up themselves.
Bro, he is hated. And he still acts like he is the knight. He is that Mugen.
I know a lot of viewers are unhappy about this reality of nature, and that's why I always try to be very clear in my videos on where I get my information. I do that so people can fact check me independent of my video and come to their own conclusions. A courtesy that, unfortunately, most creators don't seem to offer. Actually, thanks to AI, these days it's much easier to find the source material when people don't cite it. But really, the only way to reduce the number of influencers like Mugen who try to get their viewers to believe a false narrative is to every so often spend the time fact-checking the sources yourself. Not every video, but if you want to do your part and make the world a better place, every so often take one for the team and do a little research on some of the claims that creators are making, so that if you do find someone who is being dishonest, you can call them out. Even if it's just a very small percentage of viewers fact-checking each video, it'll make a big deal, especially if over 2 million people watched it. And the direct benefit to you as a person who is doing your part is that it teaches you how to research and research quickly, which is a crucial skill for a ton of things. More importantly, it teaches you critical thinking. People ask me every so often how to develop critical thinking skills. Well, this is one of the ways that you do it. You research, you think about what you found, and then you try to articulate it to other people. And by articulate it, I mean you shitpost on Twitter or the YouTube comment section. If you're going to engage in unemployed behavior, then you might as well use it to train your brain. Many modern philosophers have been developed in the comment section because writing is one of the strongest ways to get good at critical thinking. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow
Many modern philosophers that showed up in the comment section. It's funny. Yeah, so hold on, actually let him finish.
me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
I'm on Twitter.
John-
But hold up.
I just simply asked him, "Hey, are you?"
Here we go. Let me know what y'all think about this video. Now, talked about a lot. How false, like pointed out all the false bullshit, all the straight bullshit in her accusation against Sykkuno. And also, we touched on how y'all think about his girlfriend finding out the same time we're finding out. Again, she wasn't warned about this shit happening. This shit just was sprung on her. And then Mugen never even reached out to her. What y'all think about that shit? It's kind of fucked up. Would you still have rather found out either way? Or would you have rather been notified first? At least checked on. Some aftercare before you get fucked? After you get fucked? But anyway, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. I'm out. Peace. Much love to you.